And if you don't know, well, now you know. The NFL, it's back, okay? I don't need to see the opening kickoff on week 1. I don't even need to see the preseason. The rookies are back. Training camp for the veterans starts tomorrow. The NFL is here, guys. We have done it. We've made it through the dead season. If you're a Commanders fan like me, if you're a football fan, if you're anybody, if you're just from the DMV area, we have been in the dark since January. 6 months later, we're here. It's training camp eve. And I am so excited to take you guys through the biggest headlines that we have going into this training camp period. But before I can do that, I'm not going to ask very much of you all, but I am going to ask for one small favor. And it's that you hit that subscribe button, because I am here recording daily videos, pumping them out. We're going to be looking at practice clips. Maybe we'll look at the depth chart, talk about the biggest players in the upcoming season, reacting to news, all things involving the Commanders and the NFL. You're going to find it right here. So you do want to hit that subscribe button, especially if you are a Commanders fan. And if you want to help me out, hitting the like button helps me out tremendously. Gets me in the YouTube algorithms. It's really good for the channel. Talking so fast that I can't even speak. Let me try to slow it down and contain the excitement a little bit. So before we get into our main story today, which is, of course, Terry McLaurin. Is he going to get the contract? If not, what's going to happen? I do just want to quickly touch on some news involving the president. And this is not a political conversation. However, we all know that the Commanders want to go back to DC, but they've run into some trouble with the city council. They need a majority of, I believe, 13 votes, and they currently have 4. Because the council was slow to react to a budget timeline, I think that means that the earliest possible action can now only come in September. So Donald Trump was going to step in and maybe try to help the Commanders get back to the RFK site, but now he's essentially threatened to threaten the Commanders with an ultimatum stating that if they don't change their name back to what it once was, then they will not be able to move to the RFK site. Again, he didn't full on say this is what it has to be, but it was, he threatened a threat. It was very passive aggressive. I don't know what to call it, but that's going to be a huge situation, one that we're not even close to the end of. So I don't want to dive into it too far. We also know that Trump can change his mind very quickly on certain items. And when we're talking about the nation's capital, the most powerful city in the world, with the most powerful person in the world, and a very rich man and Josh Harris and all the money that's at play, there's a lot of twists and turns left in this story, and we will be covering it here on the channel. So one more reason for you to join the community. Our big story today, like I mentioned, is going to be Terry McLaurin and a little to the side, Adam Peters. And I guess, we'll start with the side course. I don't know how you guys eat your food out there, but if I get a plate of, let's say I get some vegetables like some broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, whatever it is, I start with the veggies. Then I like to go to the protein portion, so that steak, chicken, pork, whatever it is. And then the starchy sort of side, like sweet potatoes, maybe mac and cheese, whatever it is, I like to do that last because I consider that like the dessert of the meal. I don't eat them together. I separate them into sides. I don't know if that makes me weird or not. But we're going to start with the side course to this story, which is Adam Peters. And before we talk any of the details involving Terry, I just want to say to the people that are ready to turn on Adam Peters, they're ready to run him out of town, let's just pump the brakes a small bit. Because Adam Peters has done very little wrong since he stepped in the building. And if we get to a point where he determines that the Commanders just will refuse to pay Terry the money that he demands, then we can't just immediately call that the wrong thing to do. Even if it will hurt. Even if it will hurt us emotionally, and even if it will hurt the team, even if it sucks, just because we can't get that emotional fulfillment of sticking with McLaurin does not mean that Adam Peters did a bad job. It would suck to see Terry go, but we're also not there yet, so I do want to put that on pause. Let's actually go ahead and talk about Terry now. I want to pivot to an article which was just written less than an hour, or just published less than an hour after I'm recording this video. This comes courtesy of Henry McKenna, an NFL reporter for Fox Sports. He says that Terry McLaurin is trying his best to negotiate a deal that brings the team together, not one that breaks the Commanders apart. He said that he also has not decided if he'll ask for a trade or not if the two cannot come to terms on a deal. That is a change in course because all the reports we were hearing were that the Commanders didn't want to trade Terry. Terry wanted to be there, but now it's on the table. That's the biggest takeaway from this article, which actually says that McLaurin, per a source close to him, is considering all possible courses of action. That could be a hold in, that could be a hold out, and it could be requesting / demanding a trade if he doesn't get the contract that he wants. This is a direct quote. Terry McLaurin is, quote, trying to bring a deal together, not breaking the team apart, a source close to him said. Everything will be on the table. That is another direct quote. And then they've got a quote here from McLaurin himself, which is, I've been pretty frustrated, I'm not going to lie. Everything that has transpired to this point has been pretty disappointing and frustrating. And then Terry said that, I guess you can say there is a point of no return. I don't think it's at that time now, but time is kind of ticking. Which is true. When he made those comments, I believe it was about a week ago, and obviously that means we're a week down the line, and training camp starts tomorrow. And Terry has said, it's coming from the horse's mouth, I don't see how I can step on the practice field without a new contract. And if I was in his situation, I would feel similarly. Now, with that being said, pivoting back to Adam Peters here and how we can't just say Adam Peters did a bad job if this deal doesn't happen. If Terry's bottom line, and I'm making this number up, but if Terry says my bottom line is $35 million a year, I won't sign for $34.9 million. Again, hypothetical numbers, but just run with me on the scenario. Adam Peters' duty is not to honor the way that Terry McLaurin has represented the Commanders franchise. Terry has been an upstanding citizen. He's represented the team in the area better than he probably should have. When you consider the swine pool, the cesspool that he inherited and that he came to when he was drafted, for him to sign an extension with the Commanders is, frankly, it's a bit of a miracle. You rewind time, you can very easily see when the Commanders could have lost McLaurin, and you would not have begrudged him if he left. You probably would have cheered him, supported him, and said, hey, go do great things because you don't want to be here. So for him to have stuck it out, been a great player, kept his nose out of drama, represent the team well, it's perfect. And that's why we love Terry McLaurin so much. But Adam Peters got the quarterback of the future. You look ahead. We're in the championship window right now. We're expecting to be competing for Super Bowls for at least the next 10 years. His duty is not just to put together one good year. His duty is to build out the longevity of the franchise. And when you look at certain characteristics of this organization, number one, the oldest roster in the NFL. That was before they signed 36-year-old Von Miller. Why is that? Bad drafting, bad free agent signings. The average age goes up. So not only is Adam Peters in charge with replenishing the cupboard for the future, but he's doing that while having also parted ways with future draft picks in the trades for Marshawn Lattimore and Deebo Samuel and Laramie Tunsil. So there was already a huge onus on him to prepare for the future, but now he's mortgaged some of his assets. So that batting percentage, when he's in the draft, 50-50 is not acceptable. You know, batting 300 is not acceptable. You got to be hitting on a lot of these draft picks. And the same thing can be said with free agent signings. So looping this back to McLaurin, if he comes to the table with a deal where it would hamstring the Commanders moving forward, I would love to give Terry all the money in the world for everything he did for the franchise. And I know that the Commanders would be better for it to have Terry on the team this year while they're trying to go to the Super Bowl than they would be without him. But if we're looking at the longevity of things, the next 3, the next 5, 7, 10 years, this contract could have negative repercussions for the long term. And as frustrating and depressing and emotional as it would be if a deal can't get worked out, Adam Peters' job is not to report to Terry McLaurin. It's to report to the fans. He's got to make this team as good as he can for years to come. So this is my bottom line. Agreeing or not agreeing on a deal with Terry McLaurin, words are hard sometimes, does not determine if Adam Peters was right or wrong, if Terry was right or wrong, if someone failed, if someone succeeded, if someone got what they wanted. None of that. It's just business, the business of professional sports and the business of the NFL. This is how things go sometimes. Hard decisions have to be made. Now, all reports have indicated Terry wants at least $30 million a year. I think that's fair, considering you look around the league. T. Higgins, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, and DK Metcalf all signed extensions this offseason. I believe all of them got $30 million plus per year. T. Higgins might be just under. He might be at 28 or 29. But I know for a fact that Wilson did, and I know for a fact that Metcalf did. And look, Terry McLaurin is better than Garrett Wilson. He's better than DK Metcalf. He's better than T. Higgins. The thing is that he's also older than all of them. He's going to turn 30 in September. That's about the age when skill position players start to regress. Terry's side is arguing he's only played 6 seasons. He's still got a lot of tread on the tires. I can believe that. He set a Commanders franchise record in receiving touchdowns last year. He didn't look old to me. He might not be a 4.3 guy like he was coming out of Ohio State, but I saw that little tunnel screen in the playoffs against Detroit. That's not 4.7 speed. Like, he's still running a 4.4 probably. You know, the guy can still move. He can still wiggle a little bit. So I think there are merits to both sides here, is what I'll say. And whether Terry signs a new deal and stays, whether he's traded, I want the resolution to happen fast. Because look, training camp for veterans starts tomorrow. And these are valuable reps on the practice field that McLaurin's going to be missing if a deal is not situated by tomorrow morning. It was cool to miss the mini camp, the voluntary stuff, get all that. No, we are preparing to play professional football in a month and a half. And Jayden Daniels was awesome last year, still a young quarterback, and he's got new offensive linemen, new tackles on either side of him. You want continuity. You want chemistry. You want everybody out on that field, and McLaurin not being there doesn't help anybody in this instance. So whatever the resolution is going to be, I want it to be a quick one, and I will be covering it right here on this channel. So one final time, please hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Hit this like button if you did enjoy. Hit the like button if you did enjoy, I should say. Go to the comment section. Big one here. I don't make these videos just to spit my thoughts out into the universe. I make them so that I can engage with all of you. I genuinely want to know what your thoughts and opinions are. So please, whether you have thoughts on Adam Peters, McLaurin, how much you think a contract would be worth, what his trade package would look like, go to the comment section. Let me know. I will be responding to everybody. But until next time, I will see you all soon. Have a great day.